This is Harley-Davidson's 2025 CVO Road Glide RR. It costs $110,000 and has a 131 cubic inch engine. So this is literally the most expensive, biggest, and most powerful production motorcycle the motor company has ever made. This is a very limited motorcycle. They're only gonna make 131 of them, and it's modeled after Kyle Wyman's own King of the Bagger Championship motorcycle. I'm gonna give you a walk around and show you what makes this thing special. Let's talk about this engine. This is the largest, most powerful motor to have ever been put in a production of Harley-Davidson. It is a Screaming Eagle 131 cubic inch engine that is 2,147 cc. So over 1,000 cc per cylinder, which is nuts. It's got 153 horsepower and 150 foot-pounds of torque. It's also got a special transmission in it called the King 6, developed specifically for Kyle Wyman's King of the Baggers bike. They were having issues, so they designed their own, named it King after King of the Baggers. It is in there, and I gotta say it worked great. Harley transmissions are usually pretty heavy and clunky, but this one works beautifully. Based on Kyle's input and what I'd heard from Zach in the past about how the King of the Baggers bike worked, I was not expecting a lot, but I had no issues. Pretty smooth shifting. Of course, you need good suspension to go fast, and this bike is rocking the same Öhlins setup that is on the King of the Baggers bike. This is a fully adjustable Öhlins fork. Only difference is valving and spring rate for this particular bike. And up here at the front end, you've got Brembo's nickel-plated calipers, home to stainless lines, and these are full-on T-drive rotors, originally developed by Brembo for World Superbike racing. So the front end of this bike, from the brake system to the fork, is just top-spec racing components. And I gotta say, it feels very good. Extremely impressed with how well the brakes work, as well as how well the fork supports it. Although you can see that O-ring got pushed all the way to the bottom because that's a lot of weight to support. Look at this triple clamp in here, the billet. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Out back, Screaming Eagle, fully adjustable Öhlins shocks as well. And the whole bike is sitting 2 inches taller. 2 inches taller than the Road Glide ST. That is for quartering clearance. But as you can see, quartering clearance is still a bit at a premium. There's some big scratches on a very expensive pipe. Got the cam cover that is fully machined from aluminum with the exact same CAD file as Kyle Wyman's King of the Bagger bike. And on this side, look at this. Fully machined primary cover with cooling fins, with the beveled side over the clutch for added quartering clearance. You've got these beautiful machined rear sets. The foot pegs are quite a bit farther back than the mini boards on the ST, and they're a little bit higher. We've got a full titanium sleeved Acropop exhaust with carbon fiber covers. This is a custom pipe made by Acro. They've been partnered with Harley-Davidson race team for a couple years now. And this pipe saves 10 pounds off the curb weight. Saddlebag lids, saddlebag, side covers, tank cover, and fairing are all full carbon fiber. It's the same stuff they use to make NASCARs. It's carbon fiber and Kevlar for strength. And guess what, folks? Saddlebags still work. Oh my gosh, I forgot about the swing arm. All right, the swing arm, which you can't really see very well, starts life as a 200-pound block of aluminum. That's a decent view on the belt side here. Starts life as a 200-pound block of aluminum that gets CNC machined down to this trellis beauty. It's 10% lighter and 10% stiffer than the steel swing arm that's on the standard bike. This is mission control. You got this flat handlebar. You've got tall risers. They're as tall as Harley was comfortable doing without impacting egress. That's if you crash. They don't want you to get held up by the handlebar. They want you to get ejected. Got this massive color screen. Of course, it is a CVO. Silly as you might think it is to have a stereo, you gotta have it. Rockford Frosgate, baby, pumping the tunes. This seat is custom made by Salomon. It's the first Harley with a carbon fiber base. It is quite firm. And it's got this bolster to keep you from sliding back. Then you whack that throttle open. It's also got this pommel, is what they're calling it. Originally 3D printed for Kyle Wyman's bike. This one's also padded. It is removable if you don't like the look of it. If you hear bikes ripping by, that is Bradley Smith, former MotoGP rider who is out there testing. He will be on the 2025 Harley-Davidson Racing Motor America team. Harley went through a lot of trouble to save weight on this bike. You've got the titanium exhaust, you've got the carbon fiber bodywork, you've got the machined aluminum pieces. They did manage to cut 50 pounds off it. Even still, it is a 750-pound motorcycle. Now, you might think 131 cubic inches, that's 2,147 cc, would really knock your hair back, but the fact is, this is a heavy motorcycle. So while it does have a lot of power, it's not necessarily as fast as a modern sport bike like a GSX-R 1000. It's still fast, but the motor isn't really what grabbed my attention. What grabbed my attention was the handling. Plenty of people have built crazy, powerful V-twins before, but to make one that actually handles, that can go around a racetrack, that has incredible brakes and can dance from side to side banging apexes, that is what impressed me. I love the fact that they built this and that they took so much technology off of the King of the Baggers bike directly. So that transmission, the suspension, the brakes, that stuff is all lifted directly from the racetrack and from the factory team. So there's going to be 131 of these motorcycles made, and they are $110,000. That is obviously going to be a very rare, specialized buyer who's going to want one of these motorcycles. But the fact is, whether you ride this thing on the street or you do decide to take it to the racetrack, it is a very special motorcycle and it's a lot of fun. So hopefully you enjoy learning about this. I always think it's incredible when a manufacturer decides to just go whole hog, excuse the pun, and build something really special. It's so amazing that Harley has a factory race team again, and whatever you think of the King of the Baggers class, these are the most sophisticated motorcycles out there. It's amazing that they put this effort into these platforms, and this thing represents that in a big way. It's got the transmission, it's got the primary cover, it's got a lot of the features, the suspension, the brakes, that are pulled directly from Kyle Wyman's bike. So if you want a piece of racing history, you want a piece of motorcycle history, and you got $110,000, this might be your bike. If you want to learn more about this exquisite machine and how close it is to Kyle Wyman's own King of the Bagger bike, click the link in the description to read my full write-up on Common Tread.